Very much, Sam. We're about to take off rather shortly. Horizon Lunar Colony, and I'm glad we're kind of switching it up. There's been a lot of Hanamura over the last couple of weeks, but now, finally, we're going more to the moon. We'll see if Mosaic can reach for the stars, though. Eagle Gaming right now, like Sam said, only one map away from securing themselves first place going into top 8.
And as the map man Tridd himself said, new territory, the moon, for the side of Eagle Gaming, and that may mean that they've got a couple of tricks up their sleeve. Mosaic won't have been able to prepare specifically for Eagle Gaming on this map in terms of the compositions that they know they'll run. Maybe we'll see another combination of the Tracer, or rather of the Junkrat and the Widow that we've seen on the defense before, because obviously Eagle Gaming's got a pretty good roster for that with Flippy in there, and Eagle Gaming will be starting out on the defense. From Mosaic eSports, I'm expecting we will see a quad tank, but we'll have to see if that will be the case as we move in here. Of course, quad tank's been very popular over many horizons, as we've seen through all of Contenders EU.
Well, Eagle Gaming will be on the defensive side first up, so we get to kind of see what they are willing to run. Although Nico jumping onto this Junkrat, something we've seen all too often on this map, fairly easy to get a lot of splash damage when the enemy team does decide to navigate themselves towards the point, and Flippy on this Sombra as well. No big surprises there.
And Nico will be paired with the dive tank, so there's going to be very little protection for him up top, but he may not have to worry, because Mosaic eSports, if they do decide to go with this quad tank, it'll be very hard for them to sort of move on to Nico. At the moment, they're hovering on a duo of Winston and D.Va with the quad tank, which is something we saw before from Eagle Gaming's tank roster. However, a couple of stops there may well be the classic coming out from Mosaic eSports, so it's a big meaty ball into which Nico can throw those grenades and build up ult charge incredibly quickly and earn that Riptire. And as we've seen, one of the main keys to shutting down a quad tank is to try and take out the Reinhardt in short order. So if you hack him and hit him with that with a Riptire, he won't be around for long.
I did read up on that article the other day that was talking about Riptire, and its percentage win every time you use it in a fight. It's nearing up to the 70% mark, so pretty easy win as soon as you get that off, you could imagine, especially when you've got chunky targets like you were mentioning. Pipu is going to be able to stay up here nice and safe. Remember, like before, there's only one person from Mosaic that can really touch these elevated targets, and that's Danny.
And Nico already sitting at 50 or 60% off his ult charge from the Mosaic have claimed the point. Noctis going to get in there now to contest, and he's laying down the tester cannon damage, but it's not going to do much against the armor of Christopher, who's going to stand strong with the shield. A tick has already been accrued here, Jaws.
Yeah, that it is. They're going to get a nice hook on to get amazed. He's fairly low. They'll make that 2 ticks here. They're going to have to do something rather quickly. There comes the Riptire from Nico. They finally managed to push themselves onto the point, but that Coalescence will make sure everything's rather shoved off of it. 93% and building here. Get Amaze gets out of the mech. That Riptire, not entirely sure where that went, I'm going to be honest with you. And they're still contesting here. Fisher's going to pick himself up a 3 pace, gets trapped in the trap, but it doesn't really seem to matter. Nico finally finding himself on the point, but it's a little bit too late. All his team are already going to fall over, and that'll be 7-minute time bank here for Mosaic.
Given Fisher's being on fire and his charge and his ultimate charge as well, I think we can extrapolate from that information that he did get a double bubble on the tire and shut down Nico's potential. However, a second chance is coming for the Australian Rat. He's almost got another one, 95%, and now he has it ready to go. He needs to shut down Christopher, and there's the EMP. This will be a great chance.
6-man, Nico coming in, got the tire, over the wall, finds 2. Thought that was 3, as Get Amaze is on the leaderboard as well. Flippy is going to find Kodak. Rather easy and simple shutdown for Eagle Gaming, only using 2 ults as well. They still have 2 support ults and both tank ults as well available.
Mosaic, however, no investment made there, and Eagle Gaming, as you said, used for 2 ults, 2 of their main ults. Nico's going to swap over to the Tracer now. We're going to see the infamous Sombra Tracer that was talked about on the desk so much for shutting down the quad tank. Lots of hacks and lots of pulse storms coming through towards Christopher. His life's going to be very hard, but he does have that Earth Shedder in his back pocket if someone becomes especially annoying. Flippy's going to lay down that Translocator, giving a good avenue escape, and he's going to go in and try and accrue some ult charge here.
There's a whole lot of span. I think Dammy has actually snuffed him out. Yes, he has, and that does lead, actually, the rest of Eagle Gaming to jump on them for the time. Fisher has got a nice chunk of health pool now, about 800 as that sound barrier did get laid out by Mosaic, and still has that Graviton. Wants to make sure Get Amaze can get out of mech, but that Transcend is actually keeping him alive for the time being. Coalescence coming through, and there's the big EMP we're looking for. Nico's already going to fall over though, but it doesn't matter. Get Amaze comes up big again with the 3-piece on the self-destruct, and Flippy and Get Amaze, they're just going to be able to clean the rest of that one up.
Eagle Gaming with what I'd like to call a load of firework combos right here. The explosions all combined with the EMP. Shut everything down and blow it right back up. Hip's going to move over to a Pharah now. It's going to be a solo support defense with Pipu being the Mercy right after they spent their Valkyrie as well. So it's going to be a while before that's available. But there's going to be so much damage coming in towards Mosaic. They've still got 4 ults in the bank. They spent both their support ultimates to try and stay in that fight. They've got a lot of firepower coming in, but they've got to worry about the potential for defense matrix.
Kodak's already dead. Maybe a hack landed on him as Nico did end up finishing him off, so already Mosaic, 2 men down as Christopher falls as well. Fisher activated the Graviton Surge, Legday, but too little too late. Christopher, luckily enough, saving that Earth Shatter, but that is a big ultimate to waste by Fisher. I wonder if he's going to change up here. This quad tank just cannot breach this second point.
I think Christopher could also just swap off for Reinhardt at this point. Maybe he doesn't want to, but look at Eagle Gaming. Who is available here for Christopher to swing at? He's just impotently swinging his big old hammer up at the sky where Eagle Gaming are laughing. Just in the heavens, looking down, saying, hey guys, we'll be down there in a little bit once you're nice and squishy for us.
Well, that's possibly why Fish has actually changed over to this Reaper time around. Nox is going to find himself a nice little bubble to hide in for the time being, and Christopher, like you said, yet again, ends up going down first up. There's Pipu activating those wings. It's going to send him soaring to the skies. No one to touch him now. He's free like a bird. Spoxes did activate the ultimate as well, but really that scrap gun isn't doing all too much damage. Not when Pipu is there to heal everybody up. A hack landed on him, making sure he couldn't heal, and that'll be another wipe coming through for Eagle Gaming.
And Eagle Gaming here, they can afford to only use one support because Nico on the floor can make use of the health packs that Flippy has hacked for. It means he's got quite a bit of healing available. As you can see, the health pack over there, he's going to be playing a lot around that. Whereas for people who can easily escape damage, Nox and get amazed, they can move up to the top. Hip and Pipu are now going to swap it up. They saw that Mosaic eSports have swapped up their own strategies, so they're going to counter this with good proactive play we like to see. We'll have to see if it pays off though. Pipu and Hip are going to be playing around the door, so they're close to safety.
Big Deadeye, they are focusing get amazed, get him out of mech, and we might get a free couple of kills, although Fisher gets instantly jumped on as I say that. Danny actually gets slept on the point here. Christopher got hacked as well, so they're kind of useless. The tank duo left their support and DPS completely alone in the top line, and that just left Eagle Gaming just with a shooting gallery.
Danny napping on the job right there, courtesy of Pippa, and he did fall for his troubles, but he'll be spawning rather close to this. No commute for the old lady. We're good to earth. No mobility scooter required today. Flippy is going to be coming in with an EMP. He can shut off the lights once more. Spox is still building up to his, but the territory control is already in the favor of Flippy here. He's had some time between the Mosaic eSports resets to be able to build up those attack controls. However, he hasn't got the one which Mosaic eSports are currently sitting on. Maybe he needs to grab that in a little bit of a later date.
Nade was already used, and Flippy hang around the doors yet again. Uh-oh, Nico's found his prey. The Coalescence keeping him alive. That is a very high beat drop. If he got interrupted, I'd be pretty annoyed if I was him. There's a big beat drop on Mosaic as they do move and collate on the point. However, activating that Primal Rage from Nox is going to be one chunky boy, and with that nade on him as well, he's going to be healed up rather quickly. Pipu ends up going down fairly early. Danny sends out that self-destruct, doesn't quite find anybody, but these are the picks they kind of need. They now need to stagger them out, but here, he decides he wants to take control of the game. That's a 3-piece for the support of Eagle Gaming, as he finds not only the 2 supports, but a DPS as well.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
3 headshots in a row, 3 members of Mosaic eSports going down. There was a glimmer of hope, but it was stepped on with a cruel metal boot of the Omnic Monk himself. And now Eagle Gaming, they're going to be sitting pretty on 2 ultimates. Likely we're going to see Pipu afflict Nox with Nano Boost. He's going to be able to go in and take down these squishy targets in short order. Christopher has the Primal Rage, but it's going to be the EMP coming out first from Flippy.
EMP didn't actually touch Danny though, so that's fairly important. Can still use the right click. I say that as he does get instantly hacked. Hip finds another target. He's found another notch on his belt as he ends up killing Fisher and Spox's Bloodthirsty Zenyatta indeed.
Do you reckon the clip out of the kill feed with him getting 3 kills in a row is going to be his new Twitter banner?
Probably. I should hope so. Hey look guys, I'm the main character of Eagle Gaming. Don't listen to Nico. Don't listen to Flippy. I got this.
Pipu has hung on to that Nano Boost as well. He can put it back onto Nox and quickly build him up towards that Primal Rage, but only a minute is remaining here. Mosaic eSports have maybe 1 or 2 more attacks depending on how quickly they lose or win these fights. Nico has got his eyes on his co-tracer here. He doesn't have control of the health pack at the moment, and he's going to have to use his recall, be a bit more cautious now.
Mono got caught out in the back line. That Nano Boost was used onto Nox like you rightfully pointed out, but Nico goes down as well. But 2 tanks actually eradicating Christopher and Mono. Sends out Hip as well with the Transcendence to keep everybody alive in the front line. Spox is zipper up on the top here, 90% towards that EMP, but it's too little too late. They've got 30 seconds remaining, and remember Legday, they had 7 minutes in the time bank. 6 minutes and 30 seconds of that has already disappeared. They got 3 ults to work with, and a dream, as I say that, as Flippy gets his EMP. This could be the fight thereafter.
Arguably not the best usage of Transcendence there from Hip, but Eagle Gaming are ready to pick up the slack. We've got 4 ultimates in the bank, 10 seconds to defend. Mosaic eSports are coming in. They've got so many ults coming up. 5 are going to be available for this final fight. Is it all comes down to this.
Wow, massive nade actually lands onto Mono. He's not so tanky anymore after that sound barrier, and Hip ends his life. The pulse bomb onto Pip, who takes him out, but Danny finds his self-destruct on Nico. That's something massive from him. Big tick from them. At least they've got some time on the point. A primal rage from Nox to keep him alive and just trying to back Kodak out the way to get the heals off of the tanky front line. Danny is just safe inside that bubble. You can see Flippy translocating through the wall, is still alive. He's going to use that invisibility to make sure he can contest it for all this time. But the big EMP comes out from Mosaic. Spox finds too. The second tick is on the board. They can still manage to touch as long as they manage to kill Hype at the end there. He ends up falling over. They eventually get it in overtime. That 7-minute time back really, really strained for Mosaic.
Ooh, Spox fell early there, so it meant that the EMP was delayed and he could use it coming in on the spawns. Luckily, the remainder of his team picked up the slack. They made sure, okay, Spox is down. We're going to have to do this ourselves. Danny making some ingenious play in the middle there. He went very low. He got afflicted with a biotic grenade and also got hacked, so he couldn't defend himself. When he got incredibly low, the hack had just worn off when he had about 100 health. So what he did, he let that go in the middle of a point, and he sort of hid in the exploding mech itself because there's no self-damage from that anymore. And he started to accrue that percentage, and eventually Eagle Gaming sort of kept lapsing, giving a tick here, giving a tick there. And because the Sombra is such a powerful tool against staggered enemies coming in, they couldn't really build up a defense, because the second they come in, they get hacked. They're just a big meaty bag of 200 HP or more on the point, depending on what character they are playing, and they've got no evasive abilities. We did see Flippy come in with a stealth, try and take a few seconds off of a clock to keep that in contestation, but he was caught in the EMP when Spox has made his re-entry.
Surprise, I was here all along, contesting your point.
Looking for me?
Yeah. Well, actually we were, because we wanted to take the point, you see. Mosaic this time, they're going to be on the defense, and looks like the same kind of strategy coming out from them. We'll see if Kodak actually wants to stay on this Torbjorn. Wouldn't be something we've seen before, really. Not on this point, at least. Nambani is normally the favourite for the Torbjorns. Fisher and Spox is on the Junkrat and Widow, respectively.
However, if he can control the sightlines that Flippy wants to play in as the Widow, it may well be a good choice, because Flippy's going to have a little bit of trouble taking down that shield from Christopher with just the Widowmaker. You can only lay down a couple of shots at a time. You are quite a high DPS hero as the Widowmaker, but it's not ideal that you're spending your time laying shots into a shield. So here Kodak is indeed going to be controlling those sightlines. It's going to be down to Eagle Gaming here to either remove the turret from play, or to have Nox or Get Amazed grab the aggro from it so that Flippy is free to do as he wishes.
They look like they were lining up for a photo there as well around the turret. It's like when Torbjorn at the end.
Family photo.
The game won. Yeah, family
so proud
photo.
of his baby.
Why not? They're going to be holding up on this high ground. Spox is going to receive a damage boost as well. It'll be very hard to dislodge, but we'll see what Eagle Gaming want to do here. They could just run on the point and try and contest and force Mosaic down onto the low ground.
Mosaic eSports have made themselves a Crystal Palace up here. It's going to be Nox grabbing the aggro of the turret, and now Get Amazed is going to be picking that up. It's going to give Flippy a little bit more room to work, but he needs to be very wary of the duel with Spoxes, because of course Spoxes can play behind the shield. It will be the duty of Fisher to go down and try and contest the point, go for 1v1 with Nico.
There you go, they make the dive onto the turret. It's going to be making short work of, and actually Nico takes out Kodak as well. So Torbjorn and his turret end up falling with in quick succession. His hit does take out Spox's. Flippy finding Fisher as well. Eagle Gaming just forcing their way onto the point. That Crystal Palace got taken apart bit by bit by bit. That marble structure not doing too well for them. Neither did that turret, and you can see instantly Mosaic switching off of that and Kodak going towards the Zenyatta now.
Greatest plans of mice and men waylaid by Flippy on the sniper, and of course the most vulnerable moment for Orisa compositions is when you're moving the Orisa, because the shield can't move with you. You have to set up a static emplacement in a new defensive position every time. And Flippy's getting a little bit cheeky, but Kodak's keeping him in check.
Rightly, that was close. Although he did take a shot into Kodak as well. Flippy now just shooting onto the point. He's going to get flanked though, and actually that monkey is going to dive on top of him as well. Activates those imprecise. Now he knows exactly where Kodak is. He wants to be able to remove his head from the rest of his body. Translocate to backwards. You can see it just kind of flipped over. Spox is ready to actually help his supports when necessary.
Already though, the pulse bomb coming down. It's going to demech down here. That's going to be the go sign for Eagle Gaming. Flippy's going to feel very safe back here. He's with the support.
It is Pippu activating the Valkyrie as well, making sure everybody stays alive. Hip even has that Transcendence. Get Amazed does get demeched in the end, although I say that as he does actually use a self-destruct instead. Flippy finding the head of Spox's, and the resurrection from Mono. A little bit too late. as that Kodak actually activating the Transcendence to keep his actual team alive, and now Nico cleaning the rest of the Vart. Flippy got a clean res as well. Does mean he's alive the rest of this point. 5 minutes and 50 seconds still counting. They've got one tick. They're doing better than Mosaic did last time around, but spawn advantage is definitely in the Mosaic basket right now. Flippy comes up big, finds Spoxes and Mono, and even Nox getting himself on the kill feed with that Primal Rage. Tranquility comes through from Hip as they find that second tick and the third to make it 5 minutes and 33 seconds in the time bank.
I believe Spoxes was killed mid-EMP there. He did get picked off rather early in that fight, so he wasn't able to deploy it. And of course, Kodak a little bit late with a Transcendence there, maybe didn't get it in time, but he only managed to save a couple of his tank members, and by that point the tank just didn't have enough DPS because both of their DPS heroes had fallen by the wayside in order to take anyone down with the healing that was being supplied by Eagle Gaming. So now, a mountain to climb for Mosaic eSports if they want to get the draw here. This series is no longer in their control.
Eagle Gaming are one tick away from securing their first place finish in this group and moving on to the top 8 in very, very good stead. Now it is all up to Mosaic. They're on the defense. They've got 5 minutes to defend with, but if anything like the Eagle Gaming attack last time around, it's going to be rather swift. We'll see if they want to run that Torbjorn again.
And that's going to really tax your mental bandwidth if you're a player on Mosaic eSports, but you're going to have to hold 33.3% of this point for 5 minutes and 33 seconds just to get a draw. At this point, you're like, oh, what's the point? The point, my friends, is glory and pride here on Overwatch Contenders Europe. You're going to be fighting for it. It's your last hurrah, one last ride for Mosaic eSports in this map and the next. Love to see if they can put up a good fight here as Eagle Gaming are going to come storming through. 7 seconds left on the clock and they're going for the same approach again. Mosaic eSports are going to be changing it up. It's the quad tank, the Slambulance, with Kodak and Mono keeping everyone nice and healthy.
They're going to hide up on the high ground for the time being. Flippy is going to find that high ground for himself as well, as he's going to get damage boosters by Pipu. That's all the information he really needed. He knows exactly where they all now. Fisher taking rather a large headshot, as that's going to fall back to point rather rapidly.
And now Nico's going to get stuck in straight away. He's got a big pig in his sights and wants to start roasting. Kodak there's going to be warding him away with Biotic Grasp. It doesn't have too much aim to it, but it can ward away a Tracer. And Nico's already building up towards that pulse from incredibly quickly. He's already 70 or 80%.
Yeah, Kodak trying to build up towards that Coalescence. One of the faster charging ultimates, especially when you're on defense, and especially when you've got 4 tanks to heal up as well. Also did come out, didn't quite find the target just yet. Although Christopher with that Discord orb protecting everybody in their back line. Getamaze gets demeked, and Nico now chasing after Kodak. He gets set extremely low, but Eagle Gaming, they lose 2 to start this fight off with. Both their tanks falling does mean they're just going to make a swift retreat.
Getamaze dove a little deeply, lost his mech, and that meant when Nox came in with him, he didn't have any defense from Spoxes and that scrap gun from the defense matrix. And now Nico, he's got to try and move away. He sent him a pulse on, but didn't gain much from it. And now Kodak's on the lookout. He doesn't want this Trace to get in and be able to deal as much damage. Going to be forced to poke from afar, where damage drop-off will be his worst enemy.
I got a question for Nico. Is his spray key actually bound to his mouse one as well? Every time he looks anywhere, it just ends up going off.
It's on his right mouse button. Who needs blinks there?
Yeah, who needs blinks? Just got the spray key for the star points. Libby finding himself that info sight is going to get a nice bird's eye view of Mosaic eSports. However, Kodak does have that Coalescence available. Mono is going to send out that sound barrier to keep them all alive for the time being and stagger out those ults. A nice pin from Christopher. They're going to be able to regain control of the point. Nox just couldn't find his way in. Had to back out rather rapidly. Still, Eagle Gaming have 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, but Mosaic eSports have held off for 2 minutes already.
2 minutes of Eagle's reassuringly weighty time bank have evaporated in the face of Mosaic eSports quad tank. And look at that ultimate bank, Jaws. That's a lovely bunch of ticks right there. Mosaic eSports is going to be feeling very happy as we move through. They've got all of their tank ultimates available and a Coalescence to keep them in the fight should it be required. Flippy's building up towards that infra site, but it's not going to be too valuable here because you know where everyone is, Jaws. We're all together on the point. You can see him through the window.
He's just looking for heads. That's what he's doing. There's the Graviton Surge, only going to find Nox for the time being, although Primal Rage, and he's just flipping around.
Give him a spin in the back.
Give him a spin in the clap, yeah. Christopher ends up falling to Nico. Nico's actually found himself in the back line. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage here as he's completely uncontested. The heal comes out from the Roadhog, but it wasn't just quick enough as Mono and the rest of his supports end up going down. Self-destruct on the last point and the last hurrah here for Mosaic. They need to be able to touch. The time is ticking over. They're just going to be able to chase down Fisher, and this is all said and done now. Spox Commentators ends up falling. The tick has been acquired. Eagle Gaming find the 3 maps and find first place in the groups.
See, I realise exactly what Nox was doing in that Graviton now when he was spinning and pop Prime Rage. It was a distraction tactic, Jaws. He was making sure no one was looking at Nico when he snuck into the back line. Got those early picks. Really opened that one up for Eagle. Big distraction tactics from the Winston. That's why he's such high IQ. The highest IQ plays available from that Gorilla.
Christopher didn't really stand a chance against the Tracer, too mobile, and as soon as we saw that grab go off, if he didn't actually get any of the supports in that, it was all said and done, and unfortunately that'll be Mosaic losing the series, and that'll be Eagle Gaming. Fortunately for them, they'll be heading for the first place spot in the group, and a very, very good stead in the top 8 as well coming up. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. We'll be right back after these. Hey guys, welcome back. If you've only just joined us, this is Eagle Gaming versus Mosaic. And with that map win on Horizon, does send Eagle Gaming shooting straight for the stars on top of Group B. Now we're going to head into the 4th map. It will be Dorado or Junkertown. That'll be coming up very soon.
Of course, Eagle have now matched Misfits' record from the Contenders Season 1 2017. Unbeaten in group stages as well. Well done, Eagle, the 2nd ever. And I'm sure they're very proud of themselves, as I'm sure France is very proud of them. They're pretty patriotic, I've heard.
Oh yes, and with their 2-squad lineup of Eagle Gaming, it's always kind of a mystery which one they play, but this time around they're playing that dive composition. Well, they're playing that dive team. We're going to go on to Junkertown. Mosaic eSports' pick. So we'll see what they want to roll out the gate with this one. But you've got to say, with Eagle Gaming, they've got a lot of tricks up their sleeve. And Nico, especially today, has just found himself in places that Mosaic didn't want him to be.
Yeah, enough about France. It's all about Australia as we head to Junkertown. And like you said, lots of strategies that can come out. And we've seen just how dangerous Hip can be when he's playing on the Zenyatta. And usually that sort of flex support role is who goes on the Bastion if you run a pirate ship strategy. For those of you uninitiated, a pirate ship strategy, ladies and gentlemen, you get your big cannon, which is the Bastion, in his sentry form, does about 500 DPS with that minigun. You sit him down on a payload and you have a load of friends around him to keep him nice and protected in a cozy little bubble. Usually you have your Arrester at the front, nice curved shield, making him very protected from both the sides and above, as well as the front, and then maybe you bring a Reinhardt in on the back to really close off all the angles of ingress to attack your Bastion. But usually you can get through it with just an Arrester. Make sure you protect the backline of your Bastion, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to be coming out with that today. Eagle Gaming on the defense first. Nico's going to be picking up the Sombra this time, because Flippy's been playing the Sombra mostly thus far, but now Flippy's going to be picking up his signature hero for Widowmaker. This is going to be a really interesting combination. They're probably going to go in for some hacks onto Fisher, or rather onto whatever Reinhardt or Shield tank is available for Mosaic eSports, so that they're exposed and easy to get a couple of headshots on for Flippy.
That's a very disorientating noise.
Absolutely. Thanks for that one, Pipu.
Yeah, thank you very much. They are looking for maybe a grab out the gate here. We got 10 seconds counting down, and we do have Get Amazed on that Roadhog, maybe looking for some early picks. We'll see what Mosaic eSports want to run here. It does look like they're going for Spoxes on the Widowmaker, and Fisher on this Junk Rat instead. They're going to grab him out, land the hook. Straight shield.
Very aggressive hold here from Eagle Gaming, making sure that Mosaic eSports are straight under pressure for second leg out the gate. And now Nico's going on the back, he's got his eyes on a couple of players. Danny's been the one who's hacked in. No take a breather available for him, and it's going to be a quick exit there from Nico as with Mosaic eSports turn on him.
Quick exit for Spoxes as well. He did get headshotted by Flippy, so that's the first blood for him. Finds another headshot on Christopher as well. Oh yes, she does. And she has the duck straight behind the car. Nico even finds Kodak on the back line, just refusing to give up too much ground here, Eagle Gaming.
And if you get hit with a headshot when you're Discord orbed, you take 390 damage, and that's nothing for a tank to sniff at. Nox falling low here, but he does have Pipu at his back, who's laying down a huge amount of healing. He's almost already on the Coalescence.
Flippy?
But Flippy's earning himself a couple of montage clips right here, taking up Mono before they could even get into the fight. And now it's do or die here for Fisher. He's between a rock and a very sharp place.
So I feel some disturbed music coming on right now, some really early 2000s montage music. Spoxes is going to get taken out by Nox. That Coalescence just raining through that barrier. They are all in cover, but Christopher going oh so low with a Discord attached to him, and Nico finishes him off with half a clip of that SMG.
That's all we need to do. We could just get that kill on Christopher and then exit, because no one can really move forward without that
Flippy.
shield. But the Riptide can move forward, and they'll take out Flippy, earning his driver's license right there.
Yeah, using the spawn to their advantage on Mosaic right now. Spoxes finds a place for Flippu to sit down, and that'll be hip. Yeah, caught in no man's land at that point. Was actually on the wrong side of the map completely, and now is Mosaic eSports. Not setting quite the pirate ship up, but they've got a rather mean Roadhog without ultimate available soon.
No 3k available this time. The Pig's had enough of your shenanigans, and out comes a couple of scrap gunshots trying to wear down the shield of Nox before Eagle Gaming can make their entry, but Flippy's up top and he's taking a couple of pot shots, building up towards that ultimate. Hip and Nico can come in with a re-entry here. The EMP will give Flippy a load of clear sight lines.
Oh, he knows exactly where the supports are as well. Oh, Spoxes takes a headshot, and actually Nico finishing him off at the end. Mono goes in for the rares and gets executed himself, and Transcendence isn't going to save you now, Christopher, as Flippy takes his rather large head clean off his shoulders.
A little bit more mathematics for you here, ladies and gentlemen. Noctis Supercharger, when he lays it down, gives everyone a 50% damage boost. That's about as much as a nano boost gives you. So when you hit a headshot with the Widowmaker, if it's fully charged, you do 450 damage, and that's more than 400, which is how much health Orisa has. You can see Flippy here managed to one-shot Christopher, and that's exactly how we did it.
Bada bing, bada oh, just at the end there.
Yes.
We
Thank you, production, for proving me correct.
Oh yeah. Christopher gets rezzed again as Flippy does find him once more. Discord orbed. Very, very clean and quick death. And now they're just pushing forward. Danny actually gets a nice hook on Get Amazed. Coalescence in response to that one. Whole hog as well. Still available here from Danny. Doesn't want to send it out just yet. As I say that, Supercharger goes down. But Flippy, as soon as he saw Danny stepping past that barrier, takes him clean out as well. He drops to the floor. And that is only Christopher again left to fend for himself.
And we see Get Amazed get hooked by Danny quite often, but every time the response from Eagle Gaming is the same. They use Pippa with a coalescence, and it's like they're saving it for when someone gets hooked in to make sure they have as much healing as possible and that they don't fall, because this composition that they have sort of falls apart the second you miss anyone. For some reason I forgot the word for composition right there. This collection of heroes. However, the collection of heroes is going to be under a lot of strain now. Flip is going to know where everyone's coming from. 30 seconds remain on the clock here for Mosaic eSports, and they're yet to claim any points here. Hip's going to be in with a Transcendence.
They're changing it up as well as Spox has jumped on the Genji and Fisher on that Tracer, so going for full dive, the classic for Mosaic. We'll see if they can actually make anything work here. Flippy's receiving a massive pocket from this Pipu just to make sure he stays alive in these fights. Hip actually activates the Transcendence to start off. Christopher ends up going down to that whole hog, and Flippy is just trying to deal with the Tracer, but all the meanwhile, he's just going to be able to get eradicated by those orbs of destruction. There's nothing, it seems, that Mosaic eSports can do. Junkertown, a complete bust for them. Bon appetit for Eagle Gaming. They're going to hold it just before the first point as they just finish off the last remaining members. Overtime ticks through, and not even a point acquired, like I mentioned, from Mosaic.
Indeed, it may well be a wilderness and an outback, but the most bare thing here will be the points available for Mosaic eSports in their final map of the Overwatch Contenders EU. And now they've got to really grit their teeth. They've got to really
grit their teeth. Ready for the re-entry from Mosaic? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, pretty much.
Something along those lines.
It's going to be really hard is what I'm trying to say.
Mosaic are going to be on the defense this time. We'll see. Eagle Game, they got to do it right now, right? They have to do it. They got to run the Bastion. Just please. We love seeing the Bastion on the on
Hip's
Junkertown.
teasing it, and we know that he's deadly.
It's frustrating when they change at the 1 second remaining, and then they come out of the game. It's like, oh, we're going full dive. Joke's on you guys.
I believe in you, Hip. You're the Omnic boy.
The Omnic boy. It's not like Shimada lads.
Yeah, not the Shamad man. He's the Omnic boy.
The Omnic boys. Flippy, come on. You're teasing us with a Torbjorn as well. But we'll have a look what Mosaic are going to pull out the gate here. They're going to be able to get released in a couple of seconds. Spoxes and Fisher on the Widowmaker and Junkrat respectively. What they did on attack and then changed up to full dive a little bit later on in their offense. This time opting for the same strategy on the defense.
And the angles available to the Widowmaker here makes them very good defensively because they can move around some very long sight lines independently, making sure that Eagle Gaming would have to invest some movement cooldowns to try and get onto them and really remove the threat of that Widowmaker. And often, the only way to try and remove that threat consistently is to have a counter Widowmaker of your own, of course. We know that Eagle Gaming are very capable of pulling that out on the side of Flippy should it be required. We'll have to see if they're going to opt for that option. Mosaic eSports, however, looks like we're going to be setting up a little bit far forward and they need to, Jaws, because they've only got 1 or 2 fights in this. They don't have a lot of margin for error. Only a couple of meters. 86 stand between them and utter defeat.
Come on, Hip. Do us proud. Do us proud. Come out the gate on the Bastion. You know you want to do it. With Nico actually on this Sombra and Flippy on this Widowmaker, it's kind of leading me to believe they're going for this pirate ship. They're going to set up the shield to start off with to make sure there aren't any shenanigans from Mosaic. And yep, here we go. Hip's on the Bastion. Quite a tear he can run through. Haven't got too many meters like you mentioned. Only 86 stand in their way.
And now out goes the first Holt, but it's going to be behind that shield. Going to take a little bit of damage from Hip as he repositions, but he's got his trusty Mercy at his back, giving a bit of a repairing. Who knew Mercy was also a engineer? Spox is around the side, but it's going to quickly escape from that Holt. Nico's going to try and force him out, but Danny and Christopher are going to be under pressure in the front. That shield isn't lasting long, and Mono isn't either.
Oh no, taking out the fight already. Nico's going to pay the price though as well. Nice headshot actually onto Danny, who was sent airborne. They got to be able to set up Hip on the payload. Nog's going down though. He hasn't got a shield to actually hide behind now, and Fisher sends in that Riptire very early, takes out Get Amazed and Hip. Maybe will take out Kodak in return, but a quick reset from them, and in fact Fisher just poking his head out a little bit too far there, actually gets his head taken clean off too.
Flippy didn't get the notice, the fight is over, many people would have reset there, but no, it's going to be 2 kills, and of course it's going to be a commute back from Mosaic eSports as well. They're none too fast when coming back from this, so they're going to be a little bit more defensive here, and Nico's in the back, he's spawn camping them, Kodak's already down, he's got his eyes on Fisher as well.
Fisher gets hacked as well, so he can't actually use those mines or the traps to get near Nico. But if he finds Spoxes, a nice hook in onto Danny, sends him back to base, and that'll be Hip now, setting up on the corner. It's like a firing range. Who can draw their gun quicker? Well, apparently the Bastion is already set up on the point. Hip takes out Mono, the payload reaches the point, and that is all said and done. Eagle Gaming find Junkertown, they find the 4-0, and they look unstoppable against Mosaic.
Victorious tank form from Hip. Doot-to-do is the chance of victory for Eagle Gaming here as they bring it on home with a pretty flawless run. Very impressive from them, and we saw a good mix-up of strategies here.
Yeah, it does leave a big question mark on them again. I mean, the problem with this roster and coming into playing against them is there's so many things to prepare for. Not only have they got 2 squads, both squads can run a variety of compositions as well. We're going to jump to a quick commercial break, guys. We'll be back with the Analyst Desk in a minute.